And to discuss more, we're being joined by Ron Aledo. He is a former U.S. military officer, he's former CIA contractor, and former intelligence and operations officer, Pentagon. Now, currently, he is the chief executive officer of Miami Intelligence Agency. Thank you so much for taking out your time and joining us on the show.
Thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here with you.
Now, everyone is anticipating on how Israel will respond to Iran's attack, which Iran said was in response on killing of top leaders and attacks on Lebanon and Gaza. How do you assess, how do you think will Israel respond?
Well, Israel can respond in many ways. They have many tools to answer. We have seen that Israel just carried out amazing intelligence cover-ups operation against Hezbollah last week, and then military operations in southern Lebanon, and the Air Force bombing Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. They assassinate a Hamas leader in Tehran, in Iran, just a few weeks ago. And obviously they can bomb, the Air Force of Israel can bomb Iran, many strategic points, vital key points, maybe assassinate some of the leadership of the Iranian regime. They can throw their own missiles at Iran, etc. So they can do a lot of things. They can do military attacks. They can do covert actions, assassinations in Tehran. But remember, the most important thing for Israel is not how they will respond to Iran. The most important thing for the current government of Israel, that is a coalition of the Likud party with religious parties, is for the United States to join the fight. That had been for the last 20 years one of the key strategic objectives of the Likud party when they are in power. For the last 20 years, they have been trying to drag the United States into a direct military confrontation with Iraq. And until now, the United States have been resisting that request from Israel. That is the key objective right now. They want, Benjamin Netanyahu wants the United States to attack Iran. That is their main goal and mission right now.
And that being said, how do you assess U.S.'s position then in the conflict, given that they have given ironclad support to Israel, supporting its operation in Lebanon, as said by Pentagon chief, and so they're also looking for a diplomatic solution at this point. What is the U.S. looking for?
That's a very good question. Publicly speaking, in front of the cameras, in front of the public, the United States, the Biden administration, Biden-Harris administration, they express complete support for Israel, that they are with Israel, that they will help destroy or intercept more missiles from Iran, that they will use the Navy, the U.S. Navy on the area, and assets to defend Israel, etc. That is to the cameras in the public. In private, what all the sources and experts from Washington, D.C. are saying is that the Biden administration is very angry and very frustrated with Benjamin Netanyahu, because they have been trying for many, many months to de-escalate, to have a ceasefire in Gaza. And one of the main reasons why the United States is very angry in privately with Israel is that Israel lied to the United States. Very recently, they told the United States that they will not escalate in Lebanon, that they will not target Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, and the United States believed that and communicate that to the friends of the United States in the area, to Egypt, Kuwait, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, etc. And then obviously that information reached Hezbollah. That's why Nasrallah was able to get out of his bunker to walk freely in Lebanon. And as soon as he did that, then Israel killed him with a targeted attack. So the United States is very furious right now in private with Israel, because they are not de-escalating, because they are escalating, because they just murder the leader of Hezbollah in South Lebanon. And the United States don't want that. The United States don't want a regional war and don't want to be dragged in a regional war, mostly now that the elections are coming and Biden is trying to do everything he can for Harris to be elected in November in the presidential election. They don't want the United States friends in the area, like Saudi Arabia, like Jordan, like Egypt, to turn against the United States. They don't want to be dragged into this war. So in private, The Biden administration is very furious with Benjamin Netanyahu and his government, but in public, they must always show support for Israel in public, in front of the cameras.
And does that mean that they will try and push for a ceasefire or diplomatic solution as well?
Absolutely. They have been trying for many months to de-escalation and a ceasefire in Gaza. Remember, in the United States, there is a left-wing faction of the Democratic Party, the Bernie Sanders supporters, and also the Arab Americans from Michigan and from other places that usually vote Democrat, that they have been putting a lot of pressure in the United States, in Biden specifically, and Blinken, for they to get a ceasefire in Israel with Gaza, and they don't want to escalate with Hezbollah in South Lebanon. But Israel don't want to do that. They do not want a ceasefire. You need to understand that the ideology of the Likud party and the partners in the coalition from the religious ultra-Orthodox party is to utilize this opportunity to annex Gaza, to destroy the independent Palestinian Authority or Hamas, not Palestinian Authority, but Hamas government in Gaza, and to annex Gaza. Also, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, he cannot do a ceasefire nor stop the war. If he stops the war, the trials, the court trials that he's for corruption, go again live, and he might end up in jail if he stops the war. So he doesn't want to stop the war at all.
Well, then let's also talk about Iran. Now, various experts are calling Iran in a weakened position, especially after the death of leaders of its axis of resistance, as they call it. What do you make of its renewed warning by that of its foreign minister, who has said that if Israel does respond in that scenario, Iran's response will be stronger and more powerful?
Well, Iran is weaker than Israel. Iran don't have the same tools, technology capabilities than Israel has, especially because Israel has a lot of support from the super mighty, super powerful U.S. military and their intelligence assets, satellites, etc. But Iran can do a lot of damage still, even though it's not as powerful as Israel, not in a long shot. Iran has a lot of support from Russia, for example, and they have been helping the missile program of Iran, and Iran have a large number of missiles that they can use. Remember, the first attack that Iran did against Israel a few months ago, it was a symbolic one for the record. They sent very slow drones that took over 6 hours to reach Israel. That gave plenty of time to Israel to be prepared for those drones. But tonight, it was a more serious attack, more real attack with ballistic and cruise missiles. Maybe, possibly, we don't know yet for sure, but maybe Iran used some secret hypersonic missiles. Obviously, that missiles come from Russia, the technology and the help and the technological support. So today was a lot more serious. And if Israel attacks, obviously, Iran will keep attacking. This will keep being escalating in a chaining event forward. Iran had to respond because they Israel killed the Hamas commander in Tehran a few weeks ago. They did attack on Hezbollah. They killed the leader of Hezbollah. So all the Shia population was waiting for Iran to respond.
All right, that was former U.S. military officer and former intelligence officer Ron Aledo. He's the chief executive officer of Miami Intelligence Agency. Thank you so much for joining us on the show and giving your perspective.
Thank you very much.